Hello and welcome to another one of Text Guides. So today we're going to have a look at the Civilization cards, which you can find here in the art hall. So Civilization cards are basically Evony's version of a card game. Well, a card collection game. So far there are two Civilization card decks, as you can see up here, the Sun and the Moon. And each of them have, well, the first one has the World Civilizations, and this is a permanent event from what it seems, in which each civilization have 8 cards to collect. And if I click into the card decks, we can see that in the 8 cards there are different rarity of cards. So we have the common, which are these grey ones here. We have the uncommon, which are these green ones. We have the rare, which is the blue one. We have the legendary, which is this purple one. And then we have the epic, which is this orange one. Now for this first set of World Civilization cards, they all follow the same pattern throughout each civilization, so they are easy to distinguish and understand. And then when you're collecting these, you do get a collection bonus, which we can see here at the bottom. If we click the chest, then we see that you get bonuses based on number of cards and the quality of the card that you have. We will go into how we can upgrade that later in the video, but for now we'll just go through the bonuses. So for example, with Europe, it's got for 5 silver cards, in rally amount of troop attack plus 2%, and then when you have 8 out of 8 silver cards, it's a plus 5%. And then for gold cards, you need 4 and then 8. And then for diamond, it has 4 stages, of 2, 5, 7, and 8. And they all give you different buffs, and then you also get a little bonus on the side. The most important bonuses for the cards will be the 8 out of 8 silver for this World Civilization rare pack, as it has higher chance of getting those rare, legendary, and epics. And then it is the 8 out of 8 gold, which again gives you that rare pack. So each civilization has buffs to different ones. So Europe is mainly, as we saw, mounted and a bit ground. America is more range and siege focused. Japan is primarily just range with a little bit of siege in it. Korea, again, ranged, and yeah, just more ranged. China is a bit of ground and mounted. Russia is primarily defending mounted with a bit of ground and troop at the end. And then Arabia is heavily ground focused. So that's the first set, which came out with the Civilization cards and seems to be a ongoing all the time. You can always get these cards. The second one was part of the Starry Pilgrimage, which was during the quarterly event, which makes me assume that these Civilization cards might come out every quarterly event. So we should get a new pack every 3 months or so. So with this, it follows a similar pattern where there are, unfortunately, they're not in the same way as the World Civilization. They are in different places in your collection, but it does follow the pattern of 3 common, 2 uncommon, 1 rare, 1 legendary, and 1 epic. And again, they have a collection bonus for the exact same milestones as the ones before. And their cards are the Starry Pilgrimage rare pack. So once again, you want to get these ones. And from what I understood, I didn't spend any money on getting these cards during the event, and I quite easily got filled out each of them. You might have to do some trading with cards, and we'll go through that later on in the video to fill them out. but they weren't too difficult to get full bonus if you logged in every day. It's then just upgrading them. So, probably thinking, how do we upgrade these cards? So, if we go to the card box, we go to Compose up here. So, when you're upgrading a card, there is a 90% chance that it goes to a gold or a diamond quality, which goes back to the bonuses of you had to get up to 8 out of 8 gold and 8 out of 8 diamond, and you had the spaces in between in which you wanted to get those bonuses. This is the upgrading. So you just select your card by tapping this. So if we go for Sanguine, so what you do need is you need 10 cards of the same to upgrade it for just the card cost. If you don't have those, it does require these composition tickets, and a level 1 cost, well, a common costs 12, and the price goes up for the rarity of the card. So I'll just show you here. If I do this, we have 90% chance of gold, it is gold, and then 10% chance of diamond. So how do we get these composition tickets if we want to be focusing in especially on one civilization and we don't have enough cards for that? Well, we can go to Demolish here, and you can go through and just click the card you want. So you'll get 10 of these composition tickets for a common. You will get 20 for an uncommon, 40 for a rare, 100 for a legendary. Unfortunately, I don't have an epic to show you what you would get from that, but as you can see, it escalates as the rarer the card is. So this is a good way of, if there's specific buffs you want, say you want mainly the mounted, you can demolish cards that are for packs that you don't necessarily need the buffs for right now or want too long in the future, and then add those composition tickets to the one that you do want. Just bear in mind that if you're using the cards to upgrade, you will need less cards overall to upgrade, because as we saw, a common costs 10 to dismantle, well, you get 10 back for demolishing it, but it costs 12 composition points to replace one of these. So you would need to dismantle 12 to get the value of just having 10 cards. Hopefully that makes sense. So the other way of gaining cards, especially to complete sets, would be the card exchange. So with this one, we will first go through how you list your cards. So if I take one of mine off, I can show you that you just press the list. You press on the card that you want to list up. So I will go for my scenic one, and then it will bring up the cards that you can exchange it for. So you can only exchange the same rarity of card for the same rarity of card. So it shows you how many of the base quality card you have. So for me, I do have the Alps and Mount Fuji, but both of them are gold, so they do come up as zero. Like, I don't have any, but with the Grand Canyon and Siberia and so on, it does say I have one. This is just because I have a base level of these 6 at the bottom, but for the 2, the Alps and the Mount Fuji at the top, they are gold, so they don't show up as me having it, even though I do, and I've claimed the rewards. So I want the Sahara Desert, so I will just click Sahara Desert. So this means that I will be giving away this top card and getting Sahara Desert if someone wants to do the trade. So I just list it up, and I believe that it is either after 12 hours of listing it or after the reset the day after that it gets listed. It does not list instantly, so you might have to give it some time before you can do exchanges, and the exchange is only through your own server, so this does need a bit of cooperation between the server, which helps if you're on good terms or at least peaceful. So to exchange, you can see here the cards that you have. So for example, my this middle card here, the Dame du Palais. Sorry for the pronunciation. So I have 8 of the regular quality. I have 1 gold and 0 diamond. Whereas with the Dragon Cavalries to the right of it, I have 7 common, 0 gold, and 1 diamond because I got really lucky on it. So with these, this is where you can go through and you can find out which ones you need and which ones you want to, well, yeah, you can find which ones you need basically. So for example, with the Crown of Sicilia, so I don't have an extra 7 branch sword or Shamshir to trade with this player to get the Crown of Sicilia. So those are the 2 cards he wants, and that's the one that I want. So if I did have it, I'd be giving, say, a 7 branch sword to gain the Crown of Sicilia. So I believe there was one for Peter the Great. So the same player wants a Saladin for a Peter the Great. So this will only let you trade if you have an extra copy of the card. The first copy you ever get of a card, it will never let you trade or demolish. So you will always have one of that card. So if I go over, so I will be giving him Saladin, and I will be receiving Peter the Great. So, and just so you're aware, you do only have 1 exchange a day. So this does require a bit of cooperation and a bit of working out between players on what cards you need, what cards you want to get rid of, and how you go about it. So it does require a bit of that community cooperation, which, as I again said, works best on peaceful servers. So if I do that, I have now gained a Peter the Great and given away a Saladin. So that is a good way on how you can complete these different World Civilization packs. So other ways of completing these as well would also be the boss level 20 and 21s. So if I go to it now, it's under Terminator. I will see if there's any around that I can show you. So we have a Kraken here. So it's these cards that you want. So you can get, I believe, 1 or 2 of these a day. But as you can see in the Kraken, that's a 1.6 billion power monster. So if you're on a newer server, these are going to be very difficult for you to kill. My server is just over a year old. We have 1 player who can kill these comfortably. A couple of players who can kill them, especially during SVS weekend, using Soul to heal. They're not easy to take down. You will need blue drinks potentially, and you'll need to be on probably the server with the strongest player to be able to get these. But if you can get them and complete the card decks, it's a brilliant opportunity to do that. So the only other way that you can get these cards daily would be actually in the Civilization cards, open card pack, and it is just this chest here. You get 1 a day, but I do believe that there is a chance of getting blue from them, but it's very rare. You will mainly get the grey and the green, so the common and uncommon ones, and that is every day you can claim that. Just make sure that you check it, because sometimes the icon doesn't come up, or it doesn't warn you that you still have one even though you haven't used it. And then you obviously have the purchase where you can spend £10 to get all this, or £100 to get all that. And I wouldn't say these are necessarily worth spending on, because you can get them all free in the game. It just takes a bit of time. But again, with the event ones, they seem to be pretty easy to get during the last event, so hopefully that stays that way so they're accessible to everyone. But it is something that will just, as you did as a kid with collecting cards, it just takes time to get them all. And I would aim to get gold on the ones that you want. Potentially look at diamond, but going for gold for most civilizations will get you good buffs. So yeah, that is Civilization cards. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope it helped. See you next time.